get this recording started. All right, welcome everybody to arisedaughter.org and our new Celebrate Life YouTube series. My name is Sylvia Blakely, and today we proudly welcome Ms. Sandra Gosser, neonatal nurse practitioner from Texas, to share some insights about what she does as a highly trained specialist to celebrate and support life. Hey, Sandra, thank you so much for being here today.
Hello, Miss Sylvia. It's an honor. I'm so glad to be here.
Well, we welcome you. Tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming a nurse who specializes in taking excellent care of premature babies.
Yes, so I'm a neonatal nurse practitioner, and one of my biggest reasons that I do this is because when I was 17, I had a niece and a nephew, twins who were born preterm at 32 weeks. And so I'm the favorite aunt of the family. I love my nieces and nephews. I help take care of them 24/7. Just precious, precious little beings. So when I was there and I saw that, I saw them behind the glass, nurses taking care of them being so tiny and fragile. And I love them so much. I was like, I want to be doing that. That's me. I want to be with my babies. And so from that point on, it was a decision in my heart that I know God placed. And it was just like, this is what I want to do. That was my passion, my lifeblood. And just every decision I made after that is, how do I become a nurse for children? How do I become a nurse for babies? Because I want to do that.
That is awesome. So glad it was so personal for you. That's amazing. I know your job is demanding and grueling. Tell us what a typical day looks like for you in the neonatal intensive care unit.
It is intensive care, it's critical care. And so as a neonatal nurse practitioner, I'm trying to do everything that the doctor does. And that includes, procedures and plans of care, making decisions for, the teeniest, tiniest of babies. And so we have babies anywhere from, 380 grams, which is just under a pound, preterm all the way down to 23 weeks, all the way to term babies that are very sick for some reason, abnormalities, anything that's risky or different, not a normal delivery, is what we take care of intensive care wise. It's critical, so sometimes we have to manage blood pressures. It's very like minute by minute, hour by hour, helping these babies survive and get better. So, a typical day is receiving assignment of your team, knowing the baby inside and out, head to toe. We deal with everything, every electrolyte, every ventilator setting, brain scans, and we just take care of it all. And so, for a full day, sometimes I work 24-hour shifts. Wow. It can be very intense. And then, so we just do rounds with the doctors, the nurses, and the parents. We discuss care. We utilize and collaborate everybody's brain, and everyone's experience, because we want to be able to do what's best for the baby and make sure that we're not missing anything. So it's a really, really great team that I work with, a really great thing to be doing to help these babies grow and get better and get the care that they need. So at the same time, even in that intensity, we're also there for emergency deliveries. So the deliveries happen at the same time. So then, so it's a full day. It is intense, but when it's your life and that's what you see all the time and that's what you're really trained for, you're ready to go in every day.
Wow. Wow. That just sounds overwhelming to me. But for you, yes, I understand. It can get to be a typical day. You mentioned the parents, and I know that you take a lot of time with the parents. Talk to us about how you engage them in terms of helping them take care of their newborn. So for them, this is a new thing, right?
Yes. And it's also very intense, and we're very aware of that. Just like I said, it might be normal for me because I see that 100% of the time. And you live and breathe it, so, but for parents, that's not normal at all. It's very traumatizing to not have your normal delivery and just be able to take your baby home and everyone's happy. This is a huge interruption. And a lot of times fear comes with lack of knowledge. And so what we'll do is, and it's preterm deliveries are sometimes are unexpected. You don't want that. And sometimes it's something that's not known until it actually happens. So it's a big, shock, can be traumatizing. We're very aware of that. We actually study that so that we can help parents in that stressful time. And so what we do is we educate, we speak with the parents at their level, be very personable as far as we love your baby just as much as you do. And we're going to do the best with our abilities and the things that, we can do for your baby and, and help them understand what's going on, because it's a lot of lines and monitors and beepings and breathing tubes. And so it's very intense for the parents. So we understand the more that we educate, the more that we support, the less the anxiety. So we do a lot of bedside education, and then we also help them participate in care. So even if they're very little and they're very critical, their senses are still there. They still feel. You can touch them a certain way, and a mother's touch is going to be totally different from a nurse with gloves on. They have their sense of smell, and they can smell their mother's breast milk. And so there's things that we do so the mom can present those things to their baby. So it's a very trying time, but at the same time, it's precious because we've studied the parents and it helped them with their level of anxiety. And it's just a wonderful thing to be able to participate in that and see the change in the parents so that they are actually empowered to help with the things that they can do as parents, and not just be, full of anxiety.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. You mentioned babies less than a pound, which is just amazing to me that, those babies are able to sometimes make it in your environment. Talk to us about some of those babies that are medically questionably viable, I guess we can say. They're born so young. Why do you guys fight so hard for those less than pound babies?
Yes, and the reason we fight so hard is because life is life. And it's absolutely amazing, and it's a miracle. And by the time you reach 6 months, say 23 weeks, even they're small and preterm, is the mothers have already bonded, whether they know it or not, with their pregnancy and with their baby. From the minute they find out they're pregnant, whether it's a negative experience or something bad or a positive, they're bonding in some way. And so, the parents, we will sit and consult with them to be like, these are the percentages, these are the circumstances, may and may not live. And they say, do everything.
Yeah.
That's my baby, do everything. And so it's like, absolutely, we will, and then that's where our training comes from. And we do the best that we can. What's absolutely amazing is what God created this placenta and this whole pregnancy unit that it's almost impossible to duplicate outside of the womb, because it just is so nourishing and it provides so many wonderful things to this growing baby. And when they're denied that and it's taken from them and they're born early, we have to try our best to duplicate it, is to help them grow and survive outside of the womb. And what I have found with my experience is these babies, as small as they are, they have their full personalities on board. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. They will have every tube, blood pressure medications, like teeny tiny, just, it could be just the most awful picture. But if you have a baby that likes their right foot uncovered and you cover it, they will kick it out every single time. And, there's some people out there that are like that. They don't like their feet covered at night, or the right one has to be outside of the covers. We see that. On less than a pound, 23 weeks. you know, their likes and their dislikes. You can tell the difference between, you know, what they like and what they don't like. And it's absolutely amazing. And like I said, they have their sense of touch. And if you touch them and they don't like it, they'll, you know, retract, you know, back, or, you know, just shows different ways of what they like and don't like. They have all their fingers and toes. They're just simply tiny. They'll open their eyes and turn towards you, and you're, because they know you're there. And you're just like, oh, you know. And so that's just what's, you know, absolutely amazing about life, and why we fight so hard. And the parents too, because they're part of a legacy. They're part of the family. They've already bonded. And so, you know, it's a precious, precious thing. And you never know. We always say this, you never know, because you can have one of the sickest babies we just think are not going to survive. And they're resilient, and they come through, and they might be with us for 2 to 5 months. Who knows? But they walk out the doors, and, you know, 1 to 5 years later, when they come back and visit, they're just amazing. They're walking, they're taught. I mean, they're just like anybody else, and they still have their same little personalities. So it's all worth it, and it's definitely worth the fight.
Wow. Your practice is an extremely important part then of that baby's life timeline. So how does it make you feel to see that baby go home with those parents?
Oh, it's just priceless. It's the most rewarding, you know, and to be able to see that the glow on the parents when they bring that car seat in, because they're going to be able to take their baby home. It's like the great escape, you know, like, get me out of here, you know. And it's just like, thank you, but we never want to see you again. And we're like, that's great. We don't want to see you again either. I'll see you at the Walmart, you know, we can say hi there, you know. But it's just the greatest reward, because the parents have gone through so much, and it's such a fight, and it's a day by day and step by step, where they're supporting them and advocating for them, and just standing up for them and their baby, to be like, I know things look bad, but, you know. And sometimes we say too, you know, you take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, you know, 1 step forward, 3 steps back, but we're here regardless. We're going nowhere. We're going to stand with you till you're out that door, you know, with your baby. And so it's so rewarding, to the point that, I mean, sometimes you get a thank you, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't work that day to celebrate their leaving, but it doesn't matter. It's just the knowing that they get to go home, they get to feel the sunlight, they get to, you know, smell outside, and be in the arms of their family members. And it's just, there's nothing like it. And that's what we strive for. That's what I strive for. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You know, you mentioned something earlier about how real and transparent you are with parents about the possibility that their child may not make it.
Mhm.
So we know tragically that not everybody, you know, not everybody's going to be able to take their baby home. What is the hospital's grief response procedure for parents and siblings whose loved ones don't make it?
Don't make it, yes. At the hospital that I work at, and what I really appreciate the most is that we actually have a debriefing process. And so whenever something tragically like that does happen, and it is tragic no matter how many years you've been in the profession, we go through, first off, with the staff, and, you know, we're there definitely for the parents, but we have a debriefing with the process, as far as, you know, did we do everything we needed to do? You know, did we miss something? Is there a better process, a better way? Was something missed? How do we see? How are you feeling? Are you doing okay? And, you know, with that, which is, you know, absolutely amazing, is what I teach my nurses, just from experience, and what I've learned, is that even though the baby passes away, you get to be the one to take all the wires away and hand that baby to the mom. And she finally gets to hold her baby without any type of medical equipment. Mm-hmm. And as that baby passes away, and you're sitting there supporting that mom, it's an honor. It's an absolute honor to be in that presence. You actually feel the angels enter into the room ready to receive the baby. I mean, 24 years experience, it's the same, and it's an honor. And so that's what I teach my nurses. Don't feel deprived or depressed, or did I do something wrong? Was it my responsibility? This is when you carry it in a negative way, as opposed to seeing it that it's an absolute honor to be in that presence when that occurs, and to still be able to support the parents. And the other thing is that baby had purpose, because he or she was able to teach us and prepare us for the next situation. So the baby was very, very important in educating high skilled level people for the next baby. So it's an amazing experience, even though it's sad, but it's definitely an honorable one.
Wow.
Yes. What's really good too is some hospitals, just so that you guys know that there's resources out there, is there's a precious organization called Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep. And what they do is they find photographers on a volunteer basis, and you can call them and they will actually come in and take pictures for the family. They'll take black and white pictures. They'll position the baby in ways that are absolutely precious. Mom, the family holding the baby, just providing this memory and of their child, of their baby. And that is just, a precious, precious resource.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really good. There's another, I just want to mention quickly too, another organization. Let's see, I have it here. It's called Angel Wings Memory Gowns. So this organization will provide, women can donate their wedding dresses, and they will take the wedding dresses and make little baby outfits. So the baby is dressed, in silk and just, a beautiful, beautiful gown. And then the hospital will more than likely provide a very nice little memorabilia box, so that we can take the hospital bracelet with the name and, just everything that the mom would need to be able to have that memory of her child.
That sounds amazing. What a beautiful way to recognize reproductive loss. I think that is just so important, that the grief of parents and siblings be recognized that way. And not only the parents, but I love how you say the staff gets to recognize their grief as well, in a process. And so that all turns, just makes my head turn, because I think so many places, we forget that grief is an important step in the healing process. And so to recognize and honor that and to give it its space, I think it's really, really incredible. You work at an incredible facility, Sandra.
Thank you. And one of the other things that I tell my parents, or anyone that's experiencing loss, is that it's okay to hurt. You will never be the same. You will never be the same, no matter at what point you lost your baby or your family member. And that's okay. But what's important is that you're able to still live and thrive amongst that, and you can. You will always feel different. You won't be the same, but that's okay. That's because that person meant something to you, that, you loved them. The most important part is that even with that, and even though you're different and you carry that you still thrive and you rise above that and you continue to live, so that you continue the legacy of that person that you lost.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. I really, really appreciate that.
Sometimes you just need to be told, it's okay. It's okay to feel different. It's okay, to have that.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I want to turn to some of the trends that are going on right now. We talk about young people, and some of their choices, and older women too. This is not a slam against young women, but certainly the choice to use abortion as a birth control, or some of the abortion medications to use that they're using as birth control methods. Talk to us a little bit about the connection of those and premature births.
Yes. So, an unfortunate trend that I've been seeing from experience, whether it's documented or not, or researched or discussed, but one of the trends that we do see that is disturbing is that we will have girls that will be 18 to 20 years old or in their 20s with a history of having anywhere from 5 to 8 abortions. And with that, uh, what I don't think is disclosed is that each time an abortion occurs in any form, whether it's a pill or, instrumentation, is that your cervix is violated. It has to be forced open to get to the baby, or it has to be forced open for the baby to come out. And it's just like any other part of your body that gets violated, is that it wears down, it's damaged, it has scar tissue. So what we see happening is now these girls get to a certain point to where, I want to have a different life, or I have a different life now. Now I want to keep my baby, have a family, even if it's just me and my baby, or I found the, perfect man, or, whatever, but they decide to keep their baby. And now that cervix is so damaged that it can't hold the baby in. And so what we're seeing is that's one of the reasons for preterm delivery. Yeah. And so as far as, abortion is concerned, I just, there's a lot of things that are not truly fully disclosed, what we would call informed consent. They give you consent of give us permission to do this to you, but they don't give you the full risks involved. And I feel like that's one of the risks that's not necessarily discussed. And so I think there has to be some awareness to that's a part of women's health, and reproductive health is the health of your cervix. And it does make a difference. It does make a difference if it's, manhandled, violated, in these type of situations. And so what happens is, instead of having a tight, firm cervix that's closed so that it can keep the baby in for the full term, is that it's floppy, or it's damaged, or it's scarred, and it can't be held in. So that's very unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, as a nurse myself, I just want to real quick show just a little visual for girls, because again, this is all about knowledge, right? And that cervix is a really, really tight muscle at the base of your uterus, and it is designed for things to go this way or to stretch and let babies out later. But anything you're doing in between that, you're stretching it to remove a baby through abortion, or if it gets damaged because of an STI, a sexually transmitted infection, and it gets eroded away, or it gets weakened from too many births that weren't designed for that, it is going to cause problems later on. And I love, Sandra, that you so clearly shared that, because that is not being taught. That is not being told to young women as they're going in to use abortion or the abortion pill as a way for contraception. It's just not being taught. I know it's not. I talked to too many young women who said they have no idea what I'm even talking about when I bring that up.
Mm-hmm. And I think just because of the controversy of it all, it's not discussed either. When we get this question all the time: why did this happen? Why did my baby come out early? What did I do? Was it something, like what happened? And then you have the history of 5 to 8 abortions, and it's just like, it is a factor, and it's upsetting for everyone, but I think that's where the education comes in, and show that this is a risk, and that there's other forms, of either birth control, including abstinence, and it is something to be discussed. The other thing that goes along with that, when you mention STIs, sexually transmitted infections or diseases, is that it affects your fertility. And a lot of girls don't realize that. A lot of girls do not realize is that even if it's treatable and you get treatment, it causes a level of damage and inflammation for future fertility. And, and so I think that's something that's not disclosed as well. The other thing that we're seeing that's an unfortunate trend is these same girls, young, beautiful, full future ahead of them, and they come in for their tests and they find out they're HIV positive for the first time. They come in to have their babies and they're also HIV positive, and they'll have syphilis. Syphilis is on the rise. We're seeing a lot of it. And it's just, it's forever. And so, I just think that that's another thing about, education is that it's very real and it can happen to you, and we're seeing it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's why this conversation is so important. And we talk about wanting to celebrate life. Do you have any other thoughts that you wanted to end with that, just helps us to realize and recognize just how important life is?
And yes, and the other thing, absolutely, of course, life is so important. I just talk about, how precious they are and their personalities. Well, you know what? You as an adult and as a parent, you're precious too. Your life is just as amazing. And I just think we need to instill value in individuals so that they're honorable, that they feel so valuable, that they're honorable with their bodies, boys and girls, not only with their own bodies, but with other people's bodies. We're not going to lie, we're nurses. We see it, all kinds of things. We know the sexual desire, we study it. That's how God created it, and that it's things that, people are going to practice, safe or not safe, but to be educated and to realize that you are honorable no matter what has happened in your life, no matter how people have treated you, that you can stand up for yourself, and that you as boys and men also can stand up for women and for girls. And that you can become honorable on both sides, boys and girls, to make healthy decisions, because it affects your future, whether you think it does or not, whether you like it or not, it does. And we want you to have a full future of life, and life more abundantly, and free of disease, and that your womb is full of children, and your arms, have a future of kids, and so I just, I see and pray and hope for, and I know that you do too, a world to where, individuals, no matter where they came from, no matter what their background or socioeconomic status is that they're precious and they're honorable, and they deserve to be protected. They deserve to be educated and given strength, and that they are taught to protect others, to be able to have a society where boys and men again become protectors instead of violators. And so, that's what I hope and dream for. I know that is what is, on your heart too. And that's why we have organizations like this to kind of help educate and support people to have that shift of heart and mind.
Yes. Amen to all of that you just said, girlfriend. So talking about that abundant life and that expansive life that we know that God has for us, tell us a little bit about this wonderful organization that you're a part of. I happen to be a part of the Facebook family of this. It's called Fueled by Fire. Talk to us about that.
I am fueled by fire. Listen, this is how we met. It's absolutely amazing. God has divine connections, and that's exactly what this community is doing. So the CEO, owner, founder, producer of Fueled by Fire is Stacy Wallace. And I'm one of her advocates in this community. And so what we're doing is we're bringing people exactly for that, is raising them up to a higher level of influence to help them realize who they really are, what they really have. And it's just a way of just resetting your life and your business, just to have more influence in every part of your life, to where you are risen up, you're supported, you're protected, and you're given all the resources to rise up and be able to be in positions of influence to help make these changes in our society, in your families, and in your own life. So we have a free 5-day challenge, and I had given my testimony, and that's how we met. You were on there. I'm your advocate for that. I answer all the questions, get the resources that you need. And because of my history, you're like, hey, I want to talk to this lady. And we just hit it right off. I mean, you know, and so it's an amazing community. And I did want to talk about it because we're actually having another free 5-day challenge this week. So it's very exciting. It actually starts today at noon, every day from noon to 1. Stacy will be on video, just giving free, amazing information, either, you know, coaching, spiritual teaching, and also high-level business techniques. And so it's a good sample to see what we're all about, and it's just absolutely amazing. So you can join the community. Just go to Facebook, Fuel by Fire. When you join, you'll see all the information on how to register for the 5-day challenge. And then you'll get an amazing, free, powerful workbook that goes along with it. And then you can, you know, follow us and get that encouragement. But, you know, it's time to manifest, Sylvia. It's time, you know, and I believe you know that, and we know that. And God is just rising people up to be like, you know what, we need to make these changes. And you do that, it takes a village. It takes a village. And you do that through conversation, through connection, to collaboration. But then you take it to a level of, okay, let's do this. You know, let's actually manifest it. And so that's what this movement is.
Well, I can testify. I attended the last one and my hand still has a cramp in it from all of the notes that I took from Stacy's amazing teaching. So I do want to encourage you, if you can't get in this week, well, do your best to get in this week. But if you can't get in this week, join the Fuel by Fire family on Facebook and just grab the coattail and ride, because I'm telling you, you will get so much out of it that will, like Sandra just said, propel you to the next level of influence in the ministry that God has already ordained and equipped you for.
Yes.
This is just going to light the Holy Spirit fire in you to get busy for God.
Yes, amen.
Listen, thank you so much. Today was amazing. I really enjoyed talking to you. I hope we can do a part B later, because I know there's some other stuff we haven't touched.
Yes.
But if you like this channel, please hit the subscribe button below. Leave us a wonderful comment about the discussion today, and catch our next episode of Celebrate for Life. This is Sylvia Blakely again for arisedaughter.org. I already love you. Thank you, and have a blessed day.
Thank you.